When it rains, it pours. Quite literally, in this situation. I have no script for this. I have no bullet points. I have no anything. I just want to be open and honest and talk with everybody here on YouTube. I've been doing YouTube for almost 14 years now, which is crazy, right? That's a long time, I feel like, to be doing absolutely anything at all, let alone a hobby. So the title of the video, let's just get straight to point number one. By the way, point number two, which we'll get to, my shed roof isn't holding up anymore. I don't even have words at this point, and we'll get to that. I've been doing YouTube for 14 years, like I said. And, I've always balanced a life of working a full-time job, a big boy job, I can say, a very big boy job. I did planning type work. I worked in a nuclear plant for years, been at the same company for almost 15 years, had a very, very good job. And I've always done YouTube alongside that pretty much since the beginning, which is kind of crazy, to be honest. And I've always loved juggling the two. And I started to take on things like taking YouTube more seriously and trying to produce better videos, and then reselling on the side, and then things like being an editor. I'd say that's what takes up most of my time, is being an editor, not for myself, but for other channels. I edit for a total of like 7 total different YouTube people, and it's become pretty much impossible to do both. For sure. It's completely impossible. And then conventions came along. That's a huge one. Conventions are huge. I own 2 conventions, in case you don't know, SoCal Gaming Expo and Retro World Expo. So I've come to a point in my life where I've had to make the decision of I can't do both anymore, right? My YouTube side of the world encompasses much more than YouTube. Again, I'm editing for people, doing conventions, reselling, my own YouTube. That's kind of all jumbled into one big thing. And then there's my day job, which is a great big boy job that makes great money. And the more I thought about all this stuff, and I would get deep into thinking and, my life, and I just turned 40 this year, and I've been reflecting a lot. When we lost Billy as well, I've just really been reflecting on my life and what I want it to be going forward. And it sounds silly, and it sounds really silly to a lot of people. While I was thinking a lot about what am I going to do, I have to do something about this. There was a point where, I was just, listening to music. I'm a big believer. I'd, be praying. I love worship music. That's one of my favorite things. And I remember listening to a Switchfoot song, and there was a lyric that came in, which is the main part of the song, are you who you want to be? This is your life. Is it everything you dreamed when you were younger? And it just made me kind of think a little bit deeper. And I was like, with my day job, it's a great, stable, very good, stable job. But with YouTube and editing and conventions and, all this other stuff, it's much less stable. But it's been a dream of mine for so long to keep pushing this. And through much time and much thought, my wife and I both agreed that it was time to quit my day job. Which, as a guy who is 40 and has 3 kids and who lives in California, that is quite literally extremely scary. It's very scary. But I feel that with my day job, I couldn't go into my boss and say, I want to accomplish this one day and get there, right? There kind of is a ceiling, right? There's a place where I can stop and they go, you can't go higher than that position, dude. You can't do more than this, right? And I want to make sure this video is never knocking anyone who's working, a job, a regular job, as we would put it in air quotes. Respect you. Anybody who's working deserves the highest respect for working and providing for themselves or their families. So nothing but the highest honors to all of you. But my brain has always been, I was a musician before this and I played in bands. I've always just had that big dreamer feel. And again, with the day job, I feel like there was a limit. And I feel like doing my entrepreneurship, that there is no limit. There is no sky. You can go, you can work as hard as you want to work and accomplish the biggest heights possible that you may not even know is possible. And that's where I am. That's where I am. And as scary as it is, I have full faith that I'm going to continue to work as hard as I possibly can for everyone that I edit for. It's not just YouTube people, for everyone that trusts me with their work and their videos and their commercials, with their marketing and their graphics, and, you know, for the conventions to continue to put on the best possible conventions that I can. And with YouTube, I hope you all have noticed that we've been putting out such better content. We're doing the same stuff, but I'm really focused on making sure I'm telling my story better, and that we're having more fun with you guys, and that I'm open to say things that maybe I wouldn't always say on camera, but I just want to have fun with you guys and be real and honest and open. And in the spirit of that, my next point that I had in my mind, before I bring up the shed, the old freaking shed that's been with us forever, we'll get to this. You know, never on my show have I asked for anything, really. If you go back on my channel, one thing I tell my friends, and so many of them are like, why don't you tell people to subscribe? It's never been my thing to tell people to do anything on this channel. Like, you need to do this, or you need to subscribe, or you need to go follow me on this link. It's just not really my vibe. I like people to, if they like, I like to earn that without telling people, right? It's like I like my kids to do things without me telling them, because they want to do the right thing, or because they want to show mom and dad they care. So I've always kind of had that same mindset with YouTube, but for the first time in forever, I'm going to throw out one thing, and there is no pressure, but it would be so helpful now doing the YouTube side, at least full time. We do have a Patreon. I don't even know how to like properly do what memberships get this and who gets this, because my brain never likes to think of myself in a place where people owe me anything. I was talking with someone at a convention recently, and they were like, why don't you bring Sharpies? So many people want your guys' signature. My brain doesn't want to buy Sharpies, because I don't want to put my brain in a place that I'm someone that deserves to bring Sharpies, because I know someone's going to ask me for an autograph. I don't like putting myself in that place. We are one of the longest standing creators in this space that is weekly doing video game collecting. And I feel like we're in that place because we've always cared about community and people, not saying others didn't, of course, but that's why we're able to sustain this, because community has always been such a big part of this for us, and they keep us growing. That's honorable of you guys, for real. We've never gone viral and have millions of subscribers and this many views. It's always been kind of comparable to the people that follow us. So a big thank you to you guys. But I would be shooting myself in the foot if I didn't say it wouldn't help tremendously going forward. And again, this isn't going to be used for anything like doing some stupid things or going on vacations or things that doesn't have to do with YouTube. This helps me with just cost of running shows, editors, getting things done. I put so much time and effort and energy into these videos, and I just care so much about putting out, you know, stuff that people like. And I want to make sure that we're always, you know, taking care of you guys who watch us. I know our content's free. It's always been free. Nobody owes us anything. By the time this video goes out, I think memberships might be active too, which is cool. Again, I don't even like setting like tiers, like you get this or you get that, because again, I don't like making people feel like you're worthy of a certain level if you donate a certain amount a month. The whole Patreon thing messes with my head in a way, because I don't work that way. But all I want to say is, for the first time in forever, I can't be serious long enough, I am asking if you want to donate in any way, shape, or form on Patreon. It's a tip jar or memberships. It would be very, very, very beneficial to my life moving forward. Of course, there's goals in mind that I would hope we can hit to help, you know, sustain, you know, me quitting my day job, which is not possible for living in California, but all of it would mean the world. I truly mean that. We're in the shed. The good old faithful freaking shed that we've had since the beginning. This shed has been with us. We've fixed it. We've rebuilt it. It's broken down. The floors have collapsed. The sides have opened up. The roof started leaking. Everything, just things where we'd fix it, then it'd break, then fix it, then it'd break. In the end, the reality is this is strictly the bones of this place. No matter how much people work on this place, the actual bones and integral structure of this place, it's a shed. It's made to store tools and lawnmowers and stuff like that. It is not made to have our high-end podcast equipment, our NES set in here. It's not made to have our super expensive games in here. All my CRT TVs, which is the most sad for me because I'm not going to have room for those. The NES games and stuff I can move into other places, but I'm not going to have room for CRTs, which is devastating to me. And that's a real blow to my collecting because I've been getting very into collecting VHS. But I don't like collecting VHS for owning VHS. I like collecting VHS for viewing VHS. Maybe I can convince my wife to put one of the ones that looks a little more clean, like somewhere in the house and make it look aesthetic and put a border around it or something. I'm not sure. I think we're just moving on, y'all, from the shed, which is honestly sad. I honestly had like a little bit of a tear starting to form last night when I was thinking about it because this is like an old friend. This shed has been with Ricky and I since day one of YouTube. We've had this thing back here storing our games and our stuff and taking it out and removing things and trying to make things work. We've probably rebuilt this shed a total of 7 times maybe. And I think it's just time to say bye to this old friend and thank the shed, as silly as that sounds, for all the fun and holding these core memories that we have on the show of us just doing skits and goofing around. It is sad having the podcast in here too, which we will keep doing the podcast. We're either going to set it up somewhere else or, go back to Beto's studio, a good buddy of ours. I can literally see water on my table over there, which wasn't there last night when I cleaned it out. Holy cow. Yep. Sorry, you all can't see. That means more water was coming in last night after Curtis and I already cleaned all this out. Man, what a bummer. And it didn't even rain that hard. Let me make that clear. Oh man, I just thought about this. So I'll show you guys a picture. We lost a couple things in here. I mean, some of our old artwork and stuff and, stuff from the show, original artwork that we found. Nothing got ruined that was like too crazy. Some of Curtis's products for the podcast studio may have got damaged in some way, but nothing that's not irreplaceable. I'll show a picture in the video. The thing that wrecked me the most and that hurt the most out of all the freaking things in this shed, my original piece of paper where I drew my ideas when I was working at a nuclear plant. I drew my ideas down to start a potential YouTube channel one day about a channel I wanted to collect video games at swap meets and flea markets. I had it written down on a piece of paper. That piece of paper got soaked. When I saw that I was actually filming for Curtis and my heart sunk. I was genuinely devastated. Of everything in this room, I would sell stadium events. I would sell whatever game over selling that piece of paper. I point to over there because that's where it was. That piece of paper is what started everything. That piece of paper is why I get to hug people at conventions. That piece of paper is why I get to pray for those of you who come up to me and tell me you're dealing with cancer. That piece of paper is the reason I knew Billy and the reason I know all my friends and the reason I'm friends with everybody in the community and why I own conventions and why I'm able to quit my daytime job and why I'm able to sit here and ask for help on Patreon. Why I'm able to sit here and be a part of all this with every single one of you is because that piece of paper. So that sucks. I tried drying it out as best I could, really low, blow dryer on heat, on warm, from far away, so I'm not damaging anything. I might try to send it to some place that restores art or something like that. I know to many of you it might not mean anything, but that piece of paper is why I'm here. And that idea and putting it into place is why I'm able to do all this. And sorry for the very, just bland video. It's just a truthful video where I want to be honest with you guys about everything that's going on. So to reiterate, yep, I am. I left my daytime job. Absolutely frightening. Yes, second point, Patreon memberships would help. And I don't care. I know I've had such a hard time doing this. That's the biggest struggle with me. I'm just being so transparent with you guys as this feeling comes. The Patreon thing, I've had it before. I never really said much about it. I didn't do much on it because it's always made me feel weird. But I'm at a place in my life where I'm like, I don't care what people think. I think I've proved to the community enough how much I love them, how much I care about them. When I meet you guys at conventions, I hope I'm showing you love. I hope the content I'm putting out is showing how much I care about the community. It would mean more than the world. And lastly, I wanted to talk about the shed today. I have so much to share Follow our podcast channel, Pixel Plus or Pixel Podcast. It'll come up in either. I might do a lot of talks like this over there on that channel. Obviously still the podcast, but just now that I have a little more time, I have things that I want to talk about, in just a manner like this. So the shed is absolutely devastating. That piece of paper is absolutely it's mortifying that happened. I was mortified as the word when I saw that happen. I thank you guys. I mean it. I can't say it enough. This community has exceeded my expectations of everything. I want you guys to have a good day. I don't want to keep rambling. Have a good day. Somebody's calling me. Have the best day ever. Stay blessed. Love on your friends, your family, everybody. I know we had this talk when Billy passed. I'm reiterating it now. Enjoy every freaking moment. Live your life like it's the last day on this earth. I am telling you, this life will be as good as you make it. You have to put your best efforts forward in every freaking day to enjoy it to its fullest and love everybody to its fullest, because you never know when your time. I thank you guys. I love you guys.